Just as a note prior to the video starting, my opinion is probably slightly biased towards the Lions. I try to be as fair as possible, but I did like all the picks, and my opinion is probably skewed a little bit for the Lions. So just keep that in mind when I'm grading them out.
All right, so the NFL draft is over for 2020. I thought the Lions had a very good draft. The last couple videos I went over who we got and my opinion on them, but in this video I wanted to give a definitive grade and the reasons why. So I'm going to get into that now. So at the number 3 overall pick, the Lions picked Jeff Okudah. I'm going to give this pick an A minus. I think it was the right player. He's going to have an impact quickly. He's going to, he's going to compete. He's going to start probably day one. I believe he'll be a star. He'll be a very good player in this league. The only knock is I think that we could have gotten him at 5 or 6. I think if we were able to trade down, he still would have been there. But I'm not going to hold it against the Lions too badly because it does take two teams to trade. I mean, if nobody else wanted to trade up for a quarterback or an offensive lineman, you can't trade down if nobody wants to pick. So you can't hold that too harshly against the Lions. And I still think they got a great player out of it. Moving on to pick 35, we got DeAndre Swift, running back out of Georgia. I gave this pick a B+. I think he was the best running back in the class. He's going to help keep Kerryon Johnson healthy and can be the running back one if Kerryon goes down. But I don't think running back was our biggest need at pick 35. I think we could have got an edge rusher or maybe a linebacker. So I think that's, kind of, I guess, a knock against him. I do think he's going to contribute. I think he's going to have a good rookie season. And I do think if Kerryon goes down, at least I have faith that he's going to be a good replacement. He's going to keep up the production. But I just don't think that. I think we could have got a running back a little bit later with the, same, not the same value, but I think we could have got a good running back a little bit later and picked up a very good pass rusher or linebacker at 35. So yeah. At pick 67, we got Julian Okwara. I gave this pick an A minus. He's a good pass rusher. I think the reason he fell is because he had a very bad fibula injury that ended his season last year. He is brothers with Romeo Okwara. I think they're both very good pass rushers. I think Julian will start day one across from Trey Flowers. And I think this was a very good value pick. I think that he's going to come in and compete and probably start at some point in 2020. And I think this kind of made up for the DeAndre Swift pick a little bit because we did get a pass rusher. We did get somebody that can get to the quarterback and force fumbles. So I think that was a very good pick for the Lions. And it might seem weird at first, but if you look at Pro Football Focus ranking, he's ranked the second guard in the class, and we got him at the 75th pick. He's also ranked the 38th overall pick on their big board. And again, we got him at 75, late in the third round. So that's great value. He has great hands. He might have the best hands in the class. He's at a very big position of need as Graham Glasgow left last year for Denver. I think we needed a guard. We signed Big V, but I think he's more of a tackle. So this was a position of need, and I think he can start day one at that right guard spot. And I think he's going to be a very good player. So, yeah, he only allowed 17 pressures in the last 2 years of the Rutgers in Ohio State, so he's very, very a good player. At pick 121, we got Logan Stenberg, a guard out of Kentucky. He has great strength. He is great tenacity. He's a nasty in the run game. He's a very hated player because nobody wants to play him. He doesn't allow sacks. He's just a wall. You can't get past him. One source that I look at a lot, that's a YouTube channel called Bootleg Football, and they had him as one of their sleepers. So I'll leave a link in the description to their video so you can hear what they have to say. But they graded him very high and had very high remarks of him. The only knock on him is he doesn't have great hands, and he'll grab a lot, and he draws a lot of penalty flags, which is probably the reason that he's down so far. But as I said yesterday, I think it's easier to teach technique than it is strength and tenacity. So I think that they'll be able to straighten that out, and I think Logan Stenberg can definitely compete for a guard spot on the left guard spot for next season. At pick 166, the Lions selected Quintez Cephas. I gave this an A-. I had him going in my mock draft. in the 5th round. Um, as I put in the video yesterday, the Okuda story, he said he was the best receiver they played against. So that's, can't be a negative. The number 3 overall pick said that this was the best receiver that he played, and he played Clemson, and he played a lot of big schools last year. And if Quintez Cephas is the best, then that's a great value for us at 166. He's a powerful slot receiver. Amendola probably won't be here next year. He's getting kind of old, and I think Quintez Cephas can replace Amendola next year, and if he gets injured this year again. But even if he doesn't, he's good depth this year for any injury. Unfortunately, he is kind of a slower wide receiver. He only ran a 4.73 40-yard dash at the combine. But as I mentioned yesterday, slower receivers have had success in the league before. Just look at Jarvis Landry. He didn't run a great 40, but he's one of the best in the league. So I think Quintez Cephas will be all right there. I pick 172. The Lions selected Jason Huntley, running back out of New Mexico State. I gave this pick a B minus. He does have great speed. He ran a 4.37 40-yard dash. He's a good kick returner, but I don't think we needed a running back or a kick returner that badly in this draft. Running back is set. We got DeAndre Swift. We have Kerryon Johnson. We have Bo Scarborough. We have Ty Johnson. I don't think there's a lot of room for change in that running back room. And kick returner, Jamal Agnew was a All-Pro a couple years ago, but he did have some fumbling problems. He did struggle last year, so they're probably bringing in for competition to, just try to get everybody to be better in the kick returner room. And maybe he'll make it as a running back. He's a home run hitter. If you give him a crease, he's gone. So, but I just don't think that it was great value. I don't think we needed a running back here. So that's why it's B minus. At pick 197, the Lions selected John Pennicini, defensive lineman out of Utah. I gave this a B. I thought he's a good run stopper. He's a big body in the middle. He's not gonna allow a ton, but I think this was more of a depth pick as we lost A'Shawn Robinson and Snacks Harrison this offseason. So I think this was a depth signing to kind of help replenish the defensive line a little bit. I don't think he'll play a ton. Maybe he'll play a little bit if we're up and we just need a pure run stopper, or if we're down and we need a run stopper, somebody that can plug up the middle and not let them get first downs and drain the clock. And then with the 235th pick, the last pick in the NFL draft, the Lions selected Ja'Shawn Cornell, defensive lineman out of Ohio State. Ja'Shawn has a very high motor. He's relentless. He'll chase the quarterback down all over. But I do believe this is just another depth signing at defensive line to kind of replenish that room, get some, new faces in there. Also, it's a 7th round pick. It doesn't, he might not even make the team. I think he will. I think he's a very hard worker. He's a good player, not a great player. But I think that the high motor is something that Patricia and Bob Quinn are really going to like. And so we'll see if he makes the team or not. But I did give this a B because of just his relentlessness and his high motor and his work ethic. So, yeah. So, overall, I think the Lions had a very good draft. I think it was one of Bob Quinn's best. If I had to give it an overall grade, I would probably give it a B plus to an A minus, somewhere in there. Probably closer to an A minus because I think a lot of the earlier picks were very good, and I think that they can contribute right away. And I think a couple of the later picks were for competition and for depth. So probably somewhere in the A minus range. I think that the Lions got very good value at every pick. I think that almost all of these rookies can come in, and if they had to start, I would have confidence in them. So, yep, that is my overall grade for the Detroit Lions 2020 draft. Let me know in the comments what you think their grade would be, what you would give them. So, yep. If you like this video, like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all later today. I do know that the Lions have signed a lot of UDFA players, but I'm gonna kind of give it a day to, give the Lions a day to sign people, and later today I'll probably do a video on who we've signed. So that video will be coming out pretty soon, probably, later in the afternoon. But all right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.